All right, an Aquaman behind the scenes featurette was just released, right? By Warner Brothers, and I think they partnered with Fandango or something. But let's just watch it. Let's get into it. Ooh, flames. Flames in a movie about water.
For me, the most important thing is the story that I'm telling. Whether it's a scary set piece or a dramatic moment, it all comes down to the characters, and if you care about them.
Amber Heard looks beautiful in this so far. That shot we just saw, she looked radiant. Extremely lovely.
Aquaman is very powerful, but what drives him comes from a very human place.
His story resonated with me instantly. He's not accepted here, not really accepted here. I definitely can identify with that.
I fell in love with the project and fell in love with Mira. She's no damsel in distress. She's a strong, badass, empowered superhero.
With Aquaman, the trick and also part of the fun is designing a whole different world that we've never seen before. You're pretty much just limited by your own imagination.
There's just a whole lot of magic on this project. Once they put all these things together behind James's vision, blows my mind still.
The appeal of it was to step into something else. You really are invigorated because of it.
You get to experience all these amazing worlds. We haven't been under the ocean yet. This is our outer space.
Yeah, he's right about that.
I keep going back to that inherent fascination that we have with the ocean. And if it turned on you,
just the sheer vastness and the mystery of it, there's still a lot we don't know.
I've always known that I want to do an action movie. I get to be a big kid on the playground and cause trouble, blow things up.
Your body is constantly working. You're doing judo, jiu-jitsu, fight choreography.
After 4.5 months of stunt training, 6 days a week, you feel pretty superhuman.
I get to present Aquaman to the world in this really badass and cool way.
we have never seen this on screen. And that's the truth.
You get to fall in love with the idea of what it's like to have these powers and be a kid. And that's fun for the family, it's fun for everyone.
We want to create something interesting. We don't want the standard. James Wan can't do the standard.
Any great superhero story should make you feel that you've learned something from these characters and you yourself have the ability to do good. And you don't need a cape to be able to do that.
So a lot of stuff in there that we haven't yet seen any of the trailers yet, footage. Of course, there's going to be a lot more movie in the stuff in the movie than in the trailers. We saw Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Black Manta, out of his Black Manta uniform, holding like a blaster, like on the beach. So, we'll get to see a lot of him, hopefully, not with a big mask or helmet on his head, and get to see him as an like in the flesh doing stuff, before I guess he becomes Black Manta, or maybe even afterwards. Because, even though we think of when we see Black Manta, in the flesh, that it's always going to be before he becomes a character. But it's not like after he becomes Black Manta, he can't take his suit off sometimes and just, be a regular person. Like Black Manta on his day off. I'm joking, but And then, like I mentioned before, Amber Heard, she does look really beautiful, radiant in this behind the scenes footage. I mean, Amber Heard always looks nice, but for some reason she looked even more lovely in these scenes we saw her in this behind the scenes featurette. Really great. I know I even sent a tweet yesterday saying Amber Heard looks lovely because people were posting gifs of this and stuff on Twitter yesterday or the day before or something, and they got a lot of retweets and likes. So a lot of people are really liking the way she looks in this movie, and I think they did a great job. I mean, she does look nice, like I said, but she just looked really just like a screen idol in this movie, with the long flowing hair and stuff and her pretty face. She looks great. We also saw a bit where, Mara was it was wire stuff, but she was on the beach, I guess getting ready to do her hand-to-hand combat with some of the Atlantis troops. There's that scene, that extended trailer where you see, Aquaman and Mera are being engaged by Black Manta and the forces on land, you know, and there's that part of it where Mera's running from the guys, but here we see a part where she's actually physically engaging with them. So I'm wondering if that's before the part where she's running from them, or if it's after. It's probably before, like maybe she's fighting them physically, and then but for some reason they're overpowering her too strong, she has to retreat or something, or maybe she's trying to run towards the water, you know, because she's trying to get towards the beach, I think, because then she'll have more to use her powers, because Mera's a waterbender or whatever. I'm just wondering where in that scene that is, but I'll bet it's earlier, this part we see here in this featurette. And, you know, at the end, Patrick Wilson says, like, you know, you're going to see things you've never seen before in this movie, and I'm telling the truth about that. And that made me think a lot of times actors and directors in featurettes like this, they all hype up the movie or the TV show. It's the best ever. Like, every project they do is the best or something you've never seen before. So a lot of it is like marketing PR stuff. But in Aquaman's case, like he said, I think he means it, because I think this is the first movie of its kind that's going to be underwater in this way, with live action people talking to each other and stuff, you know, as characters under the water. When we've seen a lot of that with like 3D movies like Finding Dory and Nemo and stuff, and other movies like that. But, you know, that's all, you know, or Little Mermaid, but it's, you know, that's animation, you know, drawn, or it's computer and stuff. We haven't seen a live action movie that's supposed to be largely underwater, even though they aren't really under the water, but, you know, where it's like this, where people are talking to each other, doing stuff. And I think Aquaman, if it's successful, it'll set a precedent for how to do other underwater type movies. I mean, I'm sure, you know, decades from now, people will change and build off of that, because that's how technology and movie making goes. You know, somebody starts it and does it well, and then there's other people who change it later on. But I think Aquaman will have been a pioneer, and I think this might be a problem for a Namor movie. You know, Marvel will have to think of, how do we do Namor differently and better and different than Aquaman. They might have a challenge, because, you know, a lot of people might see Namor as an Aquaman copy, even though that's not really the case in the comics. But people in the mainstream, you know, world who don't read the comics might have a problem. You know, they might have a difficulty making Namor seem different and look different than Aquaman without it seeming like, well, Aquaman did it first and better. You know, that'll be a problem Marvel has. But we'll see. You know, Marvel is good at surprising people. Now, there's a part in the movie where we see like newspaper clippings like on the wall, you know, Aquaman this, whatever. And I think that's probably, you know, maybe a scene from Dr. Stephen Shin. You know, Stephen Shin was, you know, like this, I forget, he was like a biologist who was Aquaman's buddy when Aquaman was a little boy, but then later on grew up. He wanted to exploit Aquaman for his career. You know, I know, like the Magical Fish Boy or something like that. I mean, he did like Aquaman, but he also wanted to use him as a tool for his career. And I'm thinking those clippings might be things that Stephen Shin has, Dr. Shin has. We don't see him in the actor Randall Park who plays them in this featurette, but I think that could be relating to him, because they can't give away everything in a featurette, just like they can't give away everything in the trailers. So, you know, I think that's a part of it. But all in all, really good stuff. You know, I can't wait. December 21st. That's still, you know, a little more than a month away. So we do have a bit to wait here in the United States. So, you know, I guess when you're really waiting for something, it's seeming to take a long time to get there. But I'm excited. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.